Hello, hello. Welcome to my first Facebook Live. I am so excited. Don't know who's online yet, but anybody who's here, this is Cusette, or Techie Mama. And today we're going to take a look at how to create a Google Voice number for free so that you can divide a little bit more your home life and your work life and keep your work phone separate. So first, we're going to navigate to the page voice.google.com. And if you're on there for the first time, you'll probably get to the sign up page. If not, go ahead and just click on sign up. Let's see if I just do this, if it shows the default. Yeah, it's going into my real Google Voice number, so that's why I couldn't do that. All right, so let me switch back to my other account. And there we go. We'll go to the sign up page. I'll add in the notes if you can get to the sign up page where the specific URL to go to. Okay, so the first thing is you have to choose a number, which can be really exciting. For my previous business, I actually got a number that ended with CODE, so it was kind of like a vanity number with code at the end. It was pretty cool. By default, it will see where you're located and it will bring up close by cities. I'm in Central Texas, so it found Burnett and Smithville and Golson. If you want a different area code, say you're in the New York area, you could do New York. It doesn't find anything. You probably know your own area code. So I know California, there's a 408. So it finds Los Gatos and a couple different ones. That doesn't matter so much as far as probably I noticed I've had a couple of different Google Voice numbers, and one that had the 512, which is my area code, I was finally able to memorize. So that could be a consideration if you want something that is kind of a vanity number, like the code that I had before, and figure out what those numbers would be and put them in. If you want some kind of number combination, like I like 9s and 1s, go ahead and put that in and it will try and find that. So there we go. And then 1. There we go. So it found a 408 and then 915. So you do have to start with an area code. All right, so let's take a look. Let's go ahead and do a 512 since that's where I'm located. And we'll just pick this first one. That seems good to me. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and verify. So to complete setup and start using Google Voice, you need to verify your existing number. So we'll verify. I'm going to go ahead and put in my existing number. And that's where I'm going to have issues because I can't set up a second number. All right, so what we're going to do is, let's see if this works. You do have to link it to at least one phone number that exists, and it's not just the Google Voice system. And since I already have a Google Voice number, it's not going to let me sign up for a second one, or else people would just get so many different ones. And I've had different ones in the past, but I've unlinked them one at a time as I got new ones. So so I only have one current one working with my cell phone at a time. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to switch back to my personal account, and I want to give you an overview of just what Google Voice looks like in the browser and take a look at that. So the sign up process is very simple. Once you get a phone number, you just go ahead and move on with the sign up process. Go step by step. We're going to look at some of the settings here that you'll get in the sign up process, so you don't have to, so we'll still look at them. Okay, so in the settings, you have your Google Voice number. So this is my work number. I can change it. I can transfer it. So if I want to transfer it to a different email or a different location, you have a way to transfer it. And could have unchecked it so that I could register another one. But my kiddos got sick, and so things kind of got in disarray this morning. You can add more linked numbers. So when we had a joint business account, my husband and I linked both of our phone numbers to our Google Voice number, which was kind of nice because it would ring my phone and then it would ring his, and whoever was available was able to pick it up. You can, if you still have a landline, you can also set this up so that it rings your landline. You can set it up so it rings your work phone if you have a dedicated work phone. So you can go in and kind of set up different numbers. So when Google Voice first came out, I had some friends that actually set this up as their main number, and then it rang all of their other devices. And so no matter where they were reachable because they didn't necessarily have to have the cell phone right there next to them. But these days I feel like we always have our cell phone, and so that's a little easier to do. You have options for anonymous caller ID. One thing that's kind of nice about Google Voice is you can screen the calls. So when they answer or when they call, they do have to leave kind of who they are, so you can kind of see, oh, who is this and do I want to pick up. You can also record the call or switch to another linked phone. So these are like little shortcuts that you can do while you're on the Google Voice, while you're in the call. You can set do not disturb times. So if you want more balance, it's not turning on for me. I think I have that turned on in another place. But if you want to set up more kind of life-work balance and you're only available between 9 and 1, let's say, or something like that every day, then you can change those options. Record a greeting. A lot of these options are kind of similar to our just regular cell phones. You can add a balance, and that helps you for long distance calls, for international calling. So you can do some of those things as well. You can also receive text messages, and you can also link or forward your text messages to email or to your phone number, to your regular cell phone number. So that's a nice thing about this as well, is that you can kind of have your messages go into different places. It will also translate any voicemails and send you an email if you have that set up. So you can get your voicemails via an email already transcribed for you. And it's not always perfect, but I would say you pretty much get a good idea of what the person needs by reading it. So you can set that up. All right, and then in the interface on the web, and this is similar on the apps, you have your calling area. So you can go in and make a call, your text messages area, and then your voicemail area. You can also archive things and mark things as spam. In the app itself on iOS and on Android, the Google Voice app can send you alerts when someone's calling from Google Voice. It will send you alerts when there's a text message or a voicemail. You can change all of the settings as far as do not disturb, specifically on a device. So if, maybe you do have two separate devices or something like that. If you want to set do not disturb for one, or if you have a business partner and you answer calls at one point in time, or a VA or something like that, and someone else answers calls at another period of time, that's a great way of doing it. So the Google Voice number does have to be linked to a certain number, at least one number, but the app can be installed on as many devices as you like. So if you have an iPad, if you have a tablet, you can use all of those devices as your Google Voice number. So for example, I needed an Android for testing for the web. Need to make sure that everything's working when we do web design. So I have an old Android that I have, and I set the Google Voice number up on that. And I also set up my email, a lot of my different business software on that Android. And so I have kind of a separate device that's more dedicated to the business. And then my personal iPhone is more dedicated to, the day in and day out of being a mom and being with two little ones. So, all right. Well, let's see if there's anybody around, if there's any comments. If you have any questions, if you want to test out your Google Voice number, feel free to send it to me in a DM or in the comments, and I'm happy to call it and give it a call and see what we can do. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next live.